Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to another episode of the Duo Group Iron Man. In the last video, I went to Giant Mole because I was running dangerously low on nests. Definitely not because I wanted to get the pet or anything, I just really needed nests. And wouldn't you know it, I ended up getting the pet anyways. I was at 1047 KC. Okay, I lied, I was there for the pet. I was pet number 13 on my account, whereas my duo teammate Spookdog has 0. So I'm continuing on my quest to get as many pets as possible before she gets her first. This is honestly one I didn't want to get lucky on. Like, I kind of wanted to go dry on it because the kills per hour are really fast versus a God Wars one, for example. It's a lot slower to do. And Giant Mole super chill, very low effort. So I really wanted to go dry on this one, but we all know RNG is a currency you can spend and choose where to use it, of course. I haven't decided what I want to do actually for this video or what the theme or goal is going to be, so I'm just going to do some chambers right now. I've got 470 KC. Wow, so Forestry has been out for 3 days, and there's now a RuneLite plugin that will show you how to do this. I didn't even have to install any new plugins, this just like suddenly appeared for me. I just went back to do Forestry tonight, and yeah, this is pretty cool. I didn't think this would exist so soon though. By the way, as for an update with my forestry goals, I'm currently trying to save 5,000 bark. Bark is the new currency because then you could buy the log basket, I think it's called, which is like the fish barrel. So that is my goal with this at the moment. But before we carry on, we have a word from today's sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Wizard 101. A lot of you probably remember this game from your childhood, but even if you never played it, today I'll show you why you should try it out. Wizard 101 is a free-to-play MMO where you create and customize your wizard, collect cards, play minigames, and eventually duel other wizards. In this game, spells are cards, and there's different types like fire spells, ice spells, life spells, and so on. You'll collect a bunch of different kinds, and you can build a deck using your favorites. Most of you are probably playing OSRS as we speak. Well, Wizard 101 is the perfect game to play on the side for when you're AFKing in OSRs. And the reverse is kind of true as well because you do have some downtime while you're playing Wizard 101. So what are you waiting for? Give it a shot and start your adventure in Wizard City today by downloading Wizard 101 absolutely free by using my link in the description. And thank you so much to Wizard 101 for sponsoring this video. I finally realized that maybe the real XP was the friends we made at Drainer Willows. I just came up with that all by myself. And as expected, this is exactly what I thought the plugin would do for the Roots event. It just highlights the one that gives the extra bark. It's literally just the woodcutting plugin has the forestry section in here. Like if you search up forestry, this plugin comes up, and it should be on by default for everyone if you have RuneLite, but just in case. Dude, look at this tick perfect woodcutting training. Yeah, this is great, dude. So you can see how this works for the bee event as well. Okay, so I got the 5,000 anima bark, but I also need 300 oak and willow logs. I've got the willows I need, but I don't have the oaks. So I'm gonna come to Varrock and chop them. This place is so nostalgic for me. Oh my gosh, this is my first time getting an event all to myself. No way. I guess it knows how many people spawned it because when I'm in a team with a bunch of people, each time I add to it, it's like barely any, but when I add it all by myself, it adds quite a bit of the health bar. When I finish it, let's see, the solo XP drop is 4.5k. I've got all the stuff now. Let's go into the shop, log basket, and buy one. Now, as of the time of recording this, there is no collection log for the forestry stuff, but it's supposed to track retroactively when the collection log does get added for forestry, at least for the untradeable stuff, and this is untradeable. So hopefully that should actually end up going through. Now, what this does, if you don't know, is the same thing as the fish barrel, but for logs in this case. So it can hold 28 logs. Once I get a log here, if I don't keep burning all of them, I can toss that in there, or I can right click to open it. And now when I get logs, it will go directly into there. It should be filled up now, and once it's filled, so the logs automatically go into this first, and then once it's filled, then your inventory starts getting filled with the logs. And I suspect very soon that there's going to be a plugin that will tell you how many logs you have in your log basket, just like it has for the fish barrel. The log basket also works the same way as the fish barrel in regards to that you can only empty it when you're in the bank. there's the empty option, but when you're not in the bank, there is no empty option. What I'd recommend doing is that you shift right click and swap the left click to be empty. So when you're in the bank interface, you can just always left click that thing. The next thing I'm going to save up for is the log brace, which will allow you to attach the log basket onto the forestry kit. So I won't have to have this in my inventory. It'll just automatically be a part of the backpack, so I can save an inventory space that way. And that's going to cost 3,000 anima bark. And let's see how much I have now. 428, so it's gonna take a little bit to save up for, but this is really like the big upgrade right here, I think. Fun fact with the log basket, it doesn't all have to be the same type of log that you store. I don't know why I thought it did. My buddy Josh invited me to go do some tobs today, so about to do that in just a bit. We're just waiting on someone at the moment. I have 150 KC with only one drop in my name. TOB is one of those things that I feel like I wouldn't want to grind straight out because it's pretty draining, for me at least. So it's really something I'll just do on occasion when there's a team together that I get invited to and I'm in the mood for it. Oh no. Silent TOB loot clip. Yeah, so my tent is just about out of charges. I got 5 whips left though, or really 4 because I'd always want to have 1 extra whip just in case. So yeah, nice, it's almost out. Let's dissolve that and add another whip into it. I think 1 tob is like 100 charges, I want to say. It has 10k charges, so that should last for the next 100 tobs. Another silent TOB loot clip. Oh yeah, let's see. Okay, so after 1 raid I used, it was about 100 charges, 97 charges. This was my first time using the Fang at TOB, and there's 2 places you use it at, which is the Soat room. You want to make sure you have it set to stab, and then also for Verzik for P2 and P3. But for Verzik, you want to have it set to slash. The Fang has a lot higher stab accuracy than slash, but because Verzik is way weaker to slash, the Fang actually ends up being better to use on slash for her. Except when she sends out the red crabs in P2, I was told it's better to use the tent whip for that, so I just switched to the tent for that part. And that was today's TOB session. We got 7 raids completed, and here is the rest of the loot. So I am back at Chambers after a little session of TOB. That was 480 KC, and I want to make this video like a raids video. So I'm going to go to 500 KC, and then 500 KC should be about half the rate for a T-bow. So yeah, let's do some more Chambers. It's time to talk about Vespula. Believe it or not, this is actually my first time attempting Vespula solo. I know it's supposed to be an easy room with my gear, and I've always known how to do it in theory, but I have a reason why I put off trying to do it for so long. Back when I was doing team raids on my UIM, we probably attempted this room maybe 4 or 5 times, and every single time we would end up getting hard stuck and then having to restart the raid, which I think kind of conditioned me to have a bit of disdain for this room. In retrospect, the Vespula issues probably was due to doing scaled raids with an undergeared UIM. This probably wasn't the best room to do. I figured this was a good raid to try it though, because Vespula was the first room and I was just like, you know what, enough is enough. I'm tired of getting made fun of on stream for always skipping this room. I'm just gonna learn Vespula by doing it when it's the first room, because I think I'm still a bit scarred from the past experiences, but eventually it would be ideal to have Vespula after a prayer enhanced room. I did it! Hey! My first time doing Vespula, and that was an elite combat task too. That gave me some confidence. I'm going to try to do a no prep somehow and see how this goes. Here's the supplies I'll be going in with. It's so weird. I don't think that's a PB 2533. Never rewarded, but I actually managed to do my first ever no prep. Oh, it was a PB 2535. What was it before? 2546. I literally didn't even decide until I was in the last room of the raid that I wanted to try doing a no prep. So I feel like I could have gotten an even better PB if I decided beforehand, but it was pretty stressful. I don't know if I would like want to go for that very frequently, but it's cool to see that I was able to do it. I feel like doing no preps, or especially going for PBs or like the speed run times for the combat achievements, would probably be a lot easier with either a Blood Fury or a Sang, or both. It's purple! Yay, there's gonna be a scroll. Alright, let's see. Yep. Alright, let's see what we got here. Arcane number 7. 7 11. We are back at the raid data tracker plugin. That is purple number 23 in 14.9 million points, which is an average of 647k points per purple. Still very, very lucky. I'm just gonna show this really quick. You should expect 58% of your purples to be prayer scrolls, but in my case, I have 18 out of 23 of my purples be prayer scrolls, which is 78%. Now you may be thinking, 20% more, that's not that uncommon. But hear me out for a sec. You've got a binomial distribution calculator, 20 seconds of math, I promise, and then you can, oh, okay, wait, skip that part. Well, basically there's a bell curve here according to UIM Loki, and me and him are both over here, but most people are over here. So that means that we're really lucky, or really unlucky in this case. Except I'm not really unlucky because I have a lot of purples, but the types of purples I have are unlucky, allegedly. Although I suppose you could nitpick any little drop rate of item that you have in the game, whether or not it's actually meant to be a rare item, and then say that you're really unlucky on that one specific thing. But anyways, I'll get back to rating and we'll get the back-to-back. And never back-to-back, man. I'm all ready to do my AFK woodcutting at the redwoods with the log basket. Okay, I could equip this. Do I need the forestry kit for redwoods? Well, either way, it doesn't really matter. It's like double the AFK now, so it's pretty sweet. It seems to me like all the people from the Winter Toad have decided to go to World 2 Drainer Village Willows because it's a pretty similar vibe, I'd say, in terms of the community around here. So it's maybe another place you'd want to put your public chat off. Whoa, that's so weird. The same number of both of the drops. Magic Imbue wins again. 106 virtual level of magic is 26 mil XP. I'm now only 31,550 magic imbues away from another mage level. It happened again. This is so rare that this actually happens that I feel the need to show it. I got 2 eggs from 1 birdhouse. Oh, this is weird. I was about to go back to raids. Granted, I probably would have time to do another raid in this time, but I'm glad I didn't because I'd probably feel stressed out. Also, the updates are supposed to be on Wednesdays normally, and they're usually at, I think, 3 a.m. my time, so what's going on? I have this really strong feeling for some reason that an event is about to spawn right here. Or not, okay. I feel because that's normally something that would happen to me. That would have been a great way to end the video, but I'm not quite there yet. I still got some more raids to do. Everyone was saying bye, so it was really cute. 499 KC, 1 more to go for the big 500. And here's the big 500 KC, no purple. But let's now go over the loot from 500 Chambers. Here's the raid data tracker plugin again. Unfortunately, my number of purples has not changed, but my personal points is now up to 15.4 million points. Now the drop rate for any mega rare is 10 million points just to see anyone, but to see a specific one, it's 30 million points. So a T-bow is 30 million points, which means I'm now over halfway to the drop rate of a T-bow. Really on average, you could say it's 1,000 raids to meet the drop rate for a mega rare because that'd be 30k points per raid for 30 million points. When I do my solos, I usually do end up with more than 30 million points, but if you're learning, you'd probably die sometimes and end up with less than 30k, or in team raids, a lot of the time I'll end up with under 30k points just depending on the scale and who I'm going with. This also means I'm about 1.5 times the drop rate for any mega rare in my name. I have not gotten a mega rare yet. Spook Dog did get a mega rare though. She got the Kodai in her name, her one and only purple from Chambers. So at least we have that, so that's really cool. That has been very useful since we got it too. Now, next thing, let's look at the loot tracker, the fun part, the juicy part, 500 raids, getting close to a bill. It's at 926 mil GP. Now, looking at the GP per raid, this is way too small of a sample size to accurately say this is what the GP per raid is, but this is just for me personally. My GP per raid has been this is about 1.85 mil per raid. Probably about maybe 400 of these were solos. There's a fun calculator on the wiki. If you just Google like OSRS Chambers calculator, you could find this. So if we go by 30k points per raid, team size 1, then you can see it's an average of about 3 mil per raid. The big variance is because of getting a T-bow. That's really where the big RNG comes in, because theoretically, if I would have half a T-bow by now, that would have been an extra 700 mil theoretically on my loot tracker. So this is taking everything into account over the long term, like if you had like an infinite sample size basically. Now what if I were to just increase this up to 31k? So it goes from 3 million and 50k to, oh wow, so 1k points adds 100k GP expected value. Oh wait, that's actually really cool math, because if you just add zeros to the end, 3 1 3 1, so yeah, that's clean. I love how the math works out. It won't always be like this because prices are always changing, but that's the way the prices work out right now, which is very cool. And one last look at the Chambers collection log, just so you can see it with the 500. Uniques aside though, just all the general loot you get from doing Chambers is so good, and so such good skilling supplies, especially as an Iron Man. I mean, most of this will end up going to Spook Dog to help her max, which is also why we haven't been doing any duo stuff together in this video, because she's just been working towards max. And speaking of maxing, we're not on the front page for the duo group Iron Man high scores anymore. We're now ranked 21. We were actually even a lower rank before, but Spook Dog's been pushing the construction grind a little bit recently, so we moved up a bit. And, you know, in the long term, I think we'll end up being on the front page just due to people quitting and, well, the fact that we have a lot more time than most people to play the game. Eventually, it's just going to come down to total XP, though, once the whole front page is filled with duo max teams. Hey, it's me from 10 minutes in the future. I forgot to show my woodcutting XP, so here's the woodcutting XP I gained from doing forestry throughout this video. Well, forestry and redwoods, since redwoods don't exactly count as forestry. But with that said, you can check out my duo teammate Spook Dog's channel in the video description so you can see her half the progress. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope that you have a great day, and I will see you again next time.